I welcome everyone to another exciting episode of our Belle by Choice. I carry Belle by choice, not by chance. So today, we are going to talk on a very important topic. We said uterine cancer. Uterine cancer is the fourth most common cancer in women and is the most common cancer of women organs. We have an expert in our field that is going to talk, that she is going to talk more on it. So please, can you move to another slide? Okay, well, before we give time to our speaker, we are going to just briefly appreciate our partner, our amazing partner, AWDF, Global Fund for Women, DKT International Nigeria, Cross River State Ministry of Health, Cross River State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, WFD. Thank you all, amazing partner, for your support. Please, can you move forward, Madam Esther? Okay. Wow, today we have our experts. Welcome, ma. Which is Mrs. Over to you, Madam. But before we read our speaker bio, I'll handing over it to my co-host. This is Mrs. Bisola. Ms. Bisola, welcome. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Today we have our honorable speaker. Now I would like to introduce our speaker to you. So her name is Ogidiolu Odrola Dasola. Is a seasonal clinical pharmacist with experience spanning over 5 years in various sectors, including hospitals and communities. Currently working as a superintendent pharmacist of Green City Pharmaceutical Limited. Her expertise extends to medications management and pharmaceutical care. And she has consistently demonstrated excellent management and leadership skills, which is beyond profession. Wow. Odron Labs, we say, is also an experienced teacher who loves to impart knowledge and help people navigate their journey to blooming. So welcome again, Miss Odrola Dasola. Welcome to our Miss Ma.
All right, ma. Thank you so much. Welcome, ma. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you. Yeah.
Nice having you here, ma.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, we are going to move forward to our today's topic. Please, Madam Esther, can you kindly move forward? Okay, today's topic, this is our first question. What is uterine cancer, ma? So over to you, ma.
All right, uterine cancer. Okay, first of all, let me explain what cancer is. Cancer is actually a genetic disease that occurs when the body cells grows uncontrollably and then spreads to other parts of the body. So it's something that affects the gene. So it's not a metabolic disease like other diseases. So it's something that is originated from your gene. So cancer can start almost anywhere and everywhere in the body that is made up of cells. So normally in the body, the human cells will grow and also multiply. But in cancer cells, they multiply and grow abnormally and also multiply where they shouldn't. So when you talk about uterine cancer, Uterine cancer is the cancer that affects the uterus. That's the womb, or it's also called the womb. So the uterus is the place where the fetus, that's the unborn baby, grows. So uterine cancer is also called carcinoma endometrium. It can be subdivided into two types. That's the endometrial cancer, which is the very common one, and then you have the uterine sarcoma. Uterine sarcoma is very, very rare. So it's on rare cases you see women come down with it. So I'd like to establish that uterine cancer is common in women, or it's a cancer that only affects the female gender, specifically because the female gender is the only one with uterine. That's the uterus, that's your womb. Yeah. So uterine cancer begins when healthy cells in the uterus changes and grows out of control. Then it can form a mass. This mass can be a tumor, would become a tumor. And this tumor could be either malignant. When I mean malignant, I mean it could either be cancerous or non-cancerous. When it's non-cancerous, it's called a benign tumor. So that's all about uterine cancer. So I don't know if you permit me to talk about the risk factors, or do you have, okay.
Okay, ma, thank you very much. So we are going to move to our next question. But you have already mentioned this, but we have to move, still read it again, then you want to explain it more and more. What are the types of uterine cancer and how do they differ?
Okay, uterine cancer, like I've said before, is subdivided into two types. We have the endometrial cancer and uterine sarcoma. So for you to understand cancer, cancer is usually named after a location where it is found, where the that abnormal growth of cells is found. So for uterine cancer or for endometrial cancer, it's a cancer along or around the uterine lining, that's the endometrium. The endometrium is the uterine lining. So endometrial cancer is usually found in the lining of the womb, around there's an abnormal growth of cells in the endometrium. So uterine sarcoma is usually a very, very rare case of uterine cancer. And this is a type of cancer that develops majorly with age. It's usually found in women greater than 60 years or above 60 years. And then one of the predisposing factors for uterine sarcoma that, like I said, is a very rare case. Endometrial cancer is the major type of uterine cancer you find in women. So uterine sarcoma is usually caused, or is one of the predisposing factors is in women who take high estrogen therapy. When I mean estrogen therapy, like I said, it's found in women above age 60 years. So many of these women would have been approaching menopause or already have approached menopause. So these women would experience so many postmenopausal syndromes. And one of the treatments to these postmenopausal syndromes is by taking estrogen therapy. So when there's increased level of estrogen in the body, estrogen is a normal hormone that is found in women. Estrogen and progesterone is found in women. But when it's high, when it's really increased, and one of the ways it can be increased is by taking estrogen therapy. And for a woman to take estrogen therapy, then it's either they are treating postmenopausal syndromes. So it's in those cases, which many times is very rare, that women develop uterine sarcoma.
All right, thank you very much. As in fact, I am so excited on this. I would like to move forward to another question. What are the symptoms of uterine cancer that women and adolescent girls should be aware of? Is there any symptom that young women and girls and adolescent girls can be aware of, ma'am?
Yeah, definitely. There are symptoms women and adolescent girls should be aware of. They should know their body and know how this kind of disease presents. So one of the common early signs of endometrial cancer is abnormal vaginal bleeding. It's normal for a woman to bleed once in cycle. But when the bleeding becomes abnormal, that bleeding in between cycles, it's not yet your menstrual cycle time, but you are bleeding, and heavy bleeding would also be a sign. And then in women who are past menopause, these women are not supposed to be bleeding, but they still bleed, they still have vaginal bleeding. So these bleedings are abnormal. So it could be a sign of uterine cancer. Then we have watery vaginal discharge, then unexplained weight loss. Then for women who experience pain during sex, that's aparunia, they experience pain during sex. Then there's difficulty in urinating and also constipation. Then abdominal pain. So for you to establish that one has endometrial cancer, then it could be a combination of these symptoms that I have mentioned. So, but one of the most common symptoms is the abnormal vaginal bleeding. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma. Can you hear you, ma?
All right. So one of the
Okay.
symptoms we should be aware of is the abnormal vaginal bleeding.
All right. Thank you very, very much. Young women out there, many women have been having such kind of disease and they don't know that they have a uterine cancer because they don't have any idea that uterine cancer, the symptom of it is number one, vaginal discharge, like our farmers already told us, vaginal discharge, and also back pain and menopause. Abi, farm, am I right?
Yeah,
So
I mentioned that.
it's like network. Okay, it's like network. So if you encounter source, please, young women, you don't need to sit down. You need to go out there, meet your doctor, and do tests so that you can easily find help. Thank you very much. So we are moving now to our next question. For the next question, I'm going to call in my co-host. Over to you.
Yeah, well done, ma. So to our next question here, I would like to ask, like, what are the risk factors of developing that uterine Can you hear me, ma? Hello?
I can hear you. Sorry
it's
for
like
the
his network.
network. Yeah.
Okay, no
Thank you.
problem. Welcome back now. So the question is, like, what are the risk factors of developing the uterine cancer? Can you just expatiate on that?
Okay. First of all, I'd like to let us know what risk factors are. Risk factors are things that increases the chances of getting a disease in a person. So the risk factors that you see in uterine cancer, no, the first thing I said was cancer is a genetic disease. So one of the risk factors there is the family history. So if there's a history of cancer in the family, it could be a bone cancer, it could be breast cancer. So any kind of cancer, because the gene is already affected, such person is predisposed to uterine cancer. Then in women that have late menopause, that they don't get to reach menopause in time. Then you see in young girls who have early menarche is getting to see your menstruation at a very tender age. As you see young girls seeing their menstruation at age 9, age 10, it's really, really too early for them to start seeing their menstrual cycle. Then you have women with the history of polycystic ovarian syndrome. These are risk factors to uterine cancer. Then you have people with history of other types of cancer, because cancer is one of the diseases that can metastasize, that it can spread and grow. So it can leave the breast and then move to the uterus. So a possible chance, or someone with an history of other types of cancer has a predisposing factor to uterine cancer. Then the use of estrogen only therapy to treat menopausal syndrome, using estrogen only therapy. Then age, older women are most likely predisposed to uterine cancer. Then you talk about obesity, diabetes, you see, your diet and then exercise. These four things are almost like the same family. If you don't watch your diet, if you don't exercise, you don't have good physical activity, then you are predisposed to obesity. And when you have obesity, you're also predisposed to diabetes. So these four things are like brothers, or they are in the same family tree. And these four things would in turn predispose one to uterine cancer, because your hormone level and then the fat deposition in the body is increased. So this can affect, or this can predispose one to uterine cancer.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Thank you very much. So I would like to know their menstruation like that age of 9 to 11. Can we just conclude that they should be aware of that factor, or what are the suggestions that aspect?
They need to be aware about it. Having an early menarche is a risk factor in the future to have so many kinds of, and early menarche affects the let's say the body of a lady. Early menarche could predispose one to cervical cancer, could also predispose one to uterine cancer, because it's a condition within the pelvis. So there could be infection around or within the body when someone has early menarche.
Thank you very much for the answer that you gave us. So like to make everyone be aware of that, maybe their child sees its early menstruation at the age of even 8 or so upward. So kind of education, I think it's even more important for them to be aware of that. Thank you for
Yeah, and it's
the
not it's
answer
not
that
a
you gave
cause
to.
for it's not a cause for alarm, like I said. It's not a cause for alarm. It's just a risk factor. It's just something that can predispose you. Does not mean once you have early menarche, then definitely you would have cancer, maybe uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, or cervical cancer. It's just a risk factor. So you need to live healthy in order to prevent yourself from having those kind of things.
Thanks, man. Yeah, to the next question here. Oh, the question is that what is the impact of uterine cancer on sexual health? Like the impact.
Okay. So cancer of the uterus can affect you both physically and emotionally. Says one of the symptoms of uterine cancer is pain during sex, and then there's pain in urination. So imagine someone is already having pain during sex as one of the symptoms of uterine cancer, then such person will not be able to enjoy sex. So it has an impact on such person's sexual health. So, and then there are some treatments of uterine cancer that could cause dryness and narrowing of the vagina. And this will make sexual penetration difficult or painful. So all of this has a negative impact on the sexual health. And then some people, once they hear they have cancer, it affects them emotionally. They are either depressed, they are unhappy, they're not able to relate well with people. So their sexual health diminishes with cancer or with the news of cancer.
All right, ma'am. Thanks very much for the answers you've given to us concerning uterine cancer and nutritional health. So we should be aware that not all said these things will also be form of, maybe it could be the cause of uterine cancer, maybe pain during sex, and all this menstrual can also be caused to them. So it's like advising us to be aware of these uterine cancer, that we should not hope that all these pains during sex or in having the menstrual is being caused by the menstrual cup on its own. Thank you very much for the advice. So we move to the next question. Yeah, so you would like, at what age is someone at the risk of developing that uterine cancer?
Okay. Uterine cancer is usually
Hello, Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Of
Yeah.
course,
Can
yes,
you?
ma'am.
Yeah. So uterine cancer, or one is predisposed to uterine cancer once you are a woman of childbearing age. So a woman of childbearing age, that's from age of 18, but it's usually seen in older women in your 30s, 40s, and more common in women above 50 because their estrogen level could be increased due to estrogen therapy. So you see uterine cancer more in older women than you see in young people. So it's more in women that are older, let's say 30, 40 and above.
All right, thanks very much. So the next question here, like we already know that at this social age, maybe at age 30, 35 to 40, there should be a kind of regular visitation to the hospital or to the medical center, that they can have a test and be aware of their health status before it could develop to another serious cancer. So thank you very much for the answers you've given to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, to the next question here, the question is,
Madam Esther, please can you kindly move to the next question? Okay, I think that is we have come to the question aspect. Please, if anyone have any question or comment, kindly drop. But I have a question, ma'am. All right. Regarding on the symptom of this uterine cancer,
Yeah.
what are the causes of the that is when you were talking about heavy flow of menstruation, heavy flow of periods. Does it mean that is the causes of the, maybe if a young woman or a lady encountering heavy flow, does it caused by the uterine cancer?
No. And heavy flow does not necessarily mean a woman has uterine cancer. So I said one of the symptoms to uterine cancer is abnormal vaginal bleeding. So for a woman that normally it is normal for her to experience heavy flow, then it's not abnormal. But maybe you experience your cycle this month and you saw it in 5 days, and in less than 10 days, you're seeing another cycle. It's really abnormal. That vaginal bleeding is abnormal. So that's when you need to go see a doctor and complain that you're having abnormal vaginal bleeding. So many times the doctor would want to check your hormonal level. When the estrogen level is high, then further checkups will be done on such woman. So having heavy flow does not necessarily mean you have endometrial cancer. And then one of the signs or symptoms of polycystic ovarian syndrome is heavy vaginal bleeding. Heavy vaginal bleeding. While uterine cancer is abnormal, it is not normal for you to be bleeding. Just like a woman that has finished menopause or that is already in menopause and is still having vaginal bleeding, that's abnormal. Then having bleeding in between cycles, that's also abnormal. So that's when you can say such person has signs or symptoms of endometrial cancer. But every vaginal bleeding could be a sign to polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay.
You're welcome.
Is it okay? Our next question. Okay, what can we now use to prevent this uterine cancer? The prevention.
Okay. One of the prevention here is like we spoke about weight loss, we spoke about obesity, diabetes, exercise and physical inactivity, your diet. So one of the ways to prevent uterine cancer, there are some diseases that you can totally prevent, but cancer is a genetic disease, like I said. So you cannot really prevent the gene from being what it is, or from metastasizing and all that process that the gene goes through. But the one you can control is your weight loss. Try to work on your weight, have regular physical activity, try to decrease the chances of having diabetes or other metabolic syndromes. Then, if as much as possible, when taking hormonal contraceptives, that's for birth controls, there are some women that take just estrogen and birth control, estrogen only therapy, the ones that contain just estrogen. So as much as possible, while using hormonal contraceptives, use the one that combines both estrogen and then progestin. So those are the factors or the ones that we can personally curb by ourselves to be able to prevent uterine cancer.
All right, thank you very, very much. Do you have any question? Okay, we are now coming to an end of the Life Today live chat. Thank you very much, ma. We are very, very excited, and we are also very, very I don't know how to put it. Maybe should I say we understand? Like we enjoy you. We enjoy you too much. Thank you very, very much, because this uterine cancer is a common sickness in a woman's vaginal organs, which is it has a lot of side effects if a woman, any young women and girls does not know it, and you are not taking any treatment worth it. Thank you very much, ma. We really appreciate your effort. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you for having me.
Young women out there, thank you so much, ma. Young women and girls out there, if you are just joining us, please kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also share this to your friend, your loved one, your family. Tell them more about sorry. Tell them more about uterine cancer, that it's not a deadly disease if you can be able to know it on time and take treatment and take action immediately. I want to just let you know that globally, every year it is estimated that about 2,000 new cases of endometrial cancer, uterine cancer, are diagnosis. So please kindly share it to your friend, to your loved one. Tell them that they should not keep silent. Let them meet doctor for proper treatment. Thank you very much. Young women out there, you can reach out to us if you need any help. If I get sexual and reproductive health and needs, where I fit go, please, you can easily call us. Calabar, Lagos outline is here. Please contact us. We are here for you. We are here to support you and back you up. Thank you very much. looking forward having you next week. Thank you very much. So Ma, we are very appreciate you. So we are looking forward having you next time.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank
Okay,
you.
now thank you very much, everyone.
All right.
Bye
You
for
have a
now.
nice day.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Ma. Thank you, Ma. Yeah.